There's a vending machine outside a laundromat in Ohio that made more money last year than most Instagram influencers. No sponsorships, no viral moment, no face behind it. Just a metal box, a few $100s of snacks, and a man who checks it twice a week. That's the story nobody tells you about wealth. The version that doesn't trend. The version that's actually true. We've been sold a myth that money is built loud, built fast, built on stages, in pitch decks, on TikTok screens, showing six-figure months. But somewhere behind the noise, a different kind of business has been quietly compounding, unsexy, unphotographed, unbothered. Let's talk about why boring is the most profitable four-letter word in business. Right now, more people are chasing attention than chasing margins. Everyone wants the brand, the logo, the launch video. Meanwhile, a laundromat owner in Texas is closing his shop at 9, going home, and not thinking about his business again until morning. His machines don't sleep. His revenue doesn't either. That contrast matters more today than ever, because capital is expensive again. Interest rates aren't the free money era anymore. Venture funding for flashy startups has tightened. Investors aren't chasing hype the way they did in 2021. They're chasing cash flow. Reliable, boring, predictable cash flow. So let's break down 7 businesses that make money while you sleep, not because they're trendy, but because they're structurally built to keep running without you. First, laundromats. Here's the mechanic. You buy or lease a space. You install machines. Customers pay per cycle. The machine runs itself. There's no inventory to restock, no perishable goods, no algorithm deciding if your post gets seen. It's coins or card taps, cycle after cycle. The uncomfortable math is this. A single laundromat can generate anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 a month in revenue, with operating costs often under 40%. That's a business with margins some tech companies would kill for, hiding inside a strip mall next to a nail salon. Second, vending machines and micro markets. Same principle. Fixed asset, low labor, constant demand. A well-placed machine in an office building or gym doesn't care about your morning motivation. It sells water at 2 a.m. to a night shift worker without asking for a paycheck. The irony here is delicious. We built vending machines 100 years ago as a novelty. Now they're one of the few models resistant to the very disruption they helped create. Third, self-storage units. This one is almost embarrassing in its simplicity. You build boxes. People pay you monthly to keep stuff in those boxes. That's it. No product innovation. No customer service beyond a gate code. Yet self-storage has outperformed almost every other real estate category over the last 2 decades because human beings are terrible at letting go of things they don't need. Fourth, car washes, specifically the automated subscription-based kind. This is where boring gets clever. Customers pay a flat monthly fee. They can wash their car every day if they want. Most don't. That gap between what people pay for and what they use is where the profit lives. It's the gym membership model applied to your bumper. Fifth, ATMs. An ATM in the right location can generate several dollars in fees per transaction, sometimes exceeding $1,000 a month per machine, for a piece of hardware that requires almost no daily attention. It just sits there. In a gas station, in a casino, in a corner store, collecting a toll every time someone needs cash they didn't plan to need. Sixth, parking lots, land, painted lines, and a payment system. In dense cities, this is one of the highest return uses of real estate that exists because the alternative, actual construction, actual tenants, actual maintenance, is expensive and slow. A parking lot doesn't call in sick. Seventh, and this one people underestimate the most, Laundromat S'more's quieter cousin, coin-operated car vacuums and pressure washers, microservice stations that require almost no supervision, positioned wherever people already are. Now here's where the story gets uncomfortable. These businesses aren't glamorous because they're not supposed to be. Their entire design philosophy is removal of friction, removal of decision-making, removal of you. The less a business needs its owner, the more valuable it becomes. That's the paradox nobody puts in a course thumbnail. Compare that to the hustle culture version of entrepreneurship, the dropshipping store that needs constant optimization, the personal brand that needs constant content, the consulting business that stops earning the day you stop showing up. Those aren't bad businesses, but they're not asleep while you sleep businesses. They're wide-awake businesses that just happen to wear a hoodie. Here's the hype versus reality most people don't want to hear. The hype is passive income. Buy an asset. Walk away. Watch money appear. The reality is these businesses are unglamorous specifically because they require real capital up front, real maintenance behind the scenes, and real patience most people don't have. A laundromat doesn't run itself the first year. It runs itself after you've fixed the plumbing twice, dealt with a break-in, and learned which machines break down every winter. The passivity is earned, not given. There's also a deeper mechanism at play. All 7 of these businesses share one quiet trait. They monetize inconvenience. People don't want to do laundry at home. People don't want to carry cash. People don't want to store their old furniture in their living room. People don't want to wash their own car in the cold. Every boring business on this list exists because it solves a small, recurring, unglamorous discomfort and charges a small, recurring, unglamorous fee to remove it. Multiply that fee by thousands of repetitions, and you get a machine, sometimes literally a machine, that prints money in the background of ordinary life. Now, zoom out. If boring businesses are this reliable, why isn't everyone doing this? Because boring doesn't feel like ambition. Nobody dreams as a kid about owning a parking lot. There's no dopamine hit buying a vending machine compared to launching an app. The story you tell yourself matters more than people admit. And boring businesses don't offer a good story. They offer good numbers instead. Most people would rather lose money looking exciting than make money looking dull. There's also a hidden risk nobody talks about. These businesses look easy from the outside precisely because someone else already absorbed the hard part. Zoning laws, equipment maintenance, location scouting, crime and vandalism in certain areas, interest rate exposure if the business was financed with debt. Boring doesn't mean risk-free. It means the risk is administrative instead of theatrical. You're not gambling on virality. You're gambling on plumbing, weather, footfall, and local competition quietly undercutting your prices. And here's the twist that should make you slightly uncomfortable. As more people discover this, as more financed creators talk about laundromats and vending machines and parking lots, the margins shrink. Boring businesses stay profitable specifically because most people ignore them. The moment they become trendy, competition floods in, prices for units rise, and the very obscurity that made them lucrative starts to disappear. So the question becomes, strange. If everyone watching this video decided tomorrow to buy a laundromat, would laundromats still be a good investment? Probably not for long, which means the real skill was never the business model. It was the willingness to do something boring before it became a trend, the instinct to walk past a parking lot and see a spreadsheet instead of a stretch of concrete. The patience to fix a broken dryer at 6 a.m. instead of filming a reaction video. Maybe that's the uncomfortable truth hiding underneath all 7 of these businesses. Wealth doesn't usually look like the story we've been sold. It looks like unremarkable infrastructure, quietly collecting small payments from people who barely notice they're paying them. So, here's the question worth sitting with. In a world obsessed with being seen, What happens to the people still willing to build things that stay invisible?